It's recording this time. Howdy, folks. It's Justin here at This Just In. How you doing? I'm here today to bring you an announcement. I am taking part in June on the Range. June on the Range is this event that was created by my dear friend Michael K. Vaughan. He got together a bunch of us booktubers, and we are hosting this event for the month of June, June on the Range, in which we read a bunch of Westerns. There's really no other specific rule or specific challenge or any sort of prompts we need to follow. We just need to read a Western or two. Well, and I've picked a stack of them. I've got a little stack of Westerns here. This is an ambitious stack of books for me. Maybe not for most booktubers, but if you've seen the pace of my output, then you'll say, oh, wow, you're going to take that on in 1 month, Justin? Well, good luck to you. Good luck to me indeed. So tell you what, I know I'm under the CriminOlly 100 book challenge. That's fine. I've actually owned all these books already. I've got a pretty good set of Westerns myself. And I have them because there was one point in my life where I thought I might write a Western. I even thought I might write two. Had a couple of ideas in my head for some Westerns. And so I bought some Westerns and maybe even some history books to kind of, see if I get myself to where I understood the tropes very well and I understood some of the history. But of course, I might have got a few words written down. I might even got a few chapters put out, but I petered out on it a bit. And it's been some years since I've looked at it. But I've still got the ideas kicking around in my head somewhere, so I might put them down on page someday. But for now, I'll just have to read this stack of Westerns here for the month of June, for the June on the Range booktube event. I have to say, I'm pretty excited about this. This is my first event of this type that I've taken part in directly. I'm pretty thrilled to be a part of it. I'm honored that Mike has invited me to be a part of this. Thank you, Mike. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So here we go. What books am I going to read? Well, let's take a look here. So, first book I've got here is The Log of a Cowboy. This is written by Andy Adams. I believe it was published in 1903. This is the story of a cattle drive from Texas to Montana. And as I understand it, it holds pretty true to what cattle drives or what it was like to be a cowboy during that time. And Andy Adams wrote this in response to sort of the unrealistic Westerns that he was seeing come out. And he's lived that life, and he put a lot of his experience into this fictional account of this cattle drive, but it does include a lot of his real life experiences. So it proves to be a different, but probably pretty good read. So that is what we've got first, The Log of a Cowboy by Andy Adams. Next, I did want to read something from a Native American or Indigenous point of view. So I have my copy here of James Welch, Fool's Crow. And in spite of his name, he is of Native American heritage. I think he has some Irish in his family, but his father is Blackfeet and his mother was Gros Ventre. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he was raised on a reservation, and this is set in 1870. It's about a tribe of Blackfeet, a band of Blackfeet rather, and it ends with the Marias Massacre of 1870, which was a massacre of Blackfeet in January of 1870 by the U.S. Army against some Native Americans who were peaceful. So it proves to be a pretty interesting read. So this is what we got. Next is James Welch, Fool's Crow. I believe this was published in 1986. Now, on to something a little more traditional Western. I've got a book of short stories. Lost Trails is edited by Martin H. Greenberg and Russell Davis, both gentlemen whom I have no idea who they are. But Louis L'Amour, I do know. I've got a short story by Louis L'Amour in here. Elmer Kelton, which is a name that I've probably seen, and William W. Johnston. I've seen some of these names. And I might even have a couple other books of theirs. Who else do we have in here? Let's see, John D. Nesbitt. Let's see, Laurie Van Pelt, Louis L'Amour, of course, Carl Lasseter. So looks to be pretty entertaining book of short stories. I should be able to get through this. When was this? Did I make a note of what year this was published? I don't know that I did. 2007. This was published in 2007. And then I've got myself a little paperback Western here, To Be a Man by William Decker. This actually happened fairly recently as I was getting these books together. This was published in 1967, I believe. I don't really know what it's about. There's some blurbs on the back. I don't recall why I picked it out. I probably just was like, Westerns. Let me get a bunch of Westerns. But we'll see how it is. I even checked online to see if there was any additional information about this book, and I didn't really find much of anything. So we'll see how this is. To Be a Man by William Decker. Okay, and next we've got a couple of books by an author that I like a lot, Joe R. Lansdale. This is a collection of 3 novels, only one of which is by Lansdale. The Magic Wagon is the book of Lansdale's in here. The 2 others here are Gunman by Lauren D. Estelman and Kid Stark by Greg Tobin, but I only plan to read The Magic Wagon. And The Magic Wagon, I'll read the little blurb here on it. Let's see. The bizarre band of cure-all hawkers takes its medicine show on the road looking for trouble, featuring a wrestling ape, the petrified body of Wild Bill Hickok, and Hickok's self-proclaimed son, Billy Bob Daniels. The show rolls into Mud Creek, a godforsaken East Texas town where the hawkers find more danger than even they bargained for. It's Lansdale, so it should be pretty entertaining. And then I've also got by Lansdale, Dead in the West. And it's a pretty short book, and I understand it's probably I think it's just zombies in the West. I've always been kind of interested in the idea of horror westerns, and I don't know that there's a whole lot of them, but this is one, and I look forward to reading this one. Again, more Joe Lansdale. I've had this book for a while, I think even before my sort of run of buying Western books, and it's got a little card. I think that's his signature on there. It's kind of shiny silver ink, but I don't know if you can see that. But I do have another copy of this one, which is, it's a little bit nicer. Well, maybe a little bit, it's got a little bit wear on some edges, but this is a nice numbered copy and also autographed. This is published by, let's see, Crossroads Press, 1994. Look at that. That's a pretty cool illustration there. Illustrated by Stephen R. Bissett. And he is one of the autographs in here, as is Neil Barrett Jr., who wrote the foreword for this particular edition. Am I on camera there? I hope so. So the illustrations are pretty good. I like these. There's an undead fella. And what else do we got here? Oh, there's one picture that I liked quite a bit. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this one. I like this one with the teeth. I hope that's pretty cool. Am I on camera still? Yeah. Hi. Okay. So anyway, Dead in the West. So that's another book I'm going to read for June on the range. Now I said that I had already owned all of these Western books that I'm going to read. There's one that I did buy, but I figure I'm buying it for this event. It won't count towards my count of the challenge, but I think I mentioned before, that I like time travel novels, and I had looked and wondered, what's a Western time travel novel like? So I looked a little bit, and they're mostly time travel Western romances. Okay, romances really don't interest me very much, but time travel does, and Westerns do. I mean, 2 out of 3 things that I like maybe aren't so bad. So this is as good a time as any to read a time travel Western. And so I picked out The Marshal's Lady by Josie Malone. I bought a ebook edition of this or what have you. It is the book 3 in the Liberty Valley Love series. Books 1 and 2 are, if I took a look at those are not time travel Western romance novels. They're just Western romance. I wanted the time travel aspect specifically. And so I picked this out, The Marshal's Lady. Let me read to you the description of this, the synopsis of this, because it in itself is kind of entertaining. Let's see. While trailing a serial killer on a horseback, homicide detective Beth Chambers finds she has somehow ridden back in time to 1888. When she comes across injured Marshal Rad Morgan, she has no choice but to try to save his life. Though the handsome Marshal believes a lady should stand behind her man, Beth is determined to catch the killer she's chased through time and prove she's a capable law enforcement officer in any century. A former Union soldier, Red has survived the Confederate hellhole of Andersonville prison, but his toughest challenge is beautiful Beth Chambers. As the headstrong female detective from the future lets him in on why she's there, Rad becomes convinced that her stubbornness may get her killed. But when he is shot and left for dead, the Marshal has no other choice but to put himself in Beth's hands and hope they can both survive. 2 officers of the law from different centuries chasing the same killer could be a recipe for disaster, especially with the distraction of love. Ooh. So this will be entertaining in one way or another. So there we have it. That is my collection of books I will be reading for June on the Range. As I said, I'm pretty excited, pretty happy to be part of this. Looking forward to it. Of course, we've got several other booktubers here as a part of this, other hosts. I think they've all got their announcement videos out already. There may be one or two straggling behind, but I think I'm probably the last one at this point. But as well as Michael K. Vaughan, who is the primary host, the creator of June on the Range, as it were. We also have Steve Donoghue. Along with us is Shawn D. Steadfast. And Ollie at CriminOlly is here with us. And Becky and Scott at the Bookish Bryants are also taking part in this. And Greg with another Bibliophile Reads. We are all hosting this fantastic event, June on the Range. And so I really hope you guys can join us. I hope this sounds like a lot of fun to you. Sounds like a lot of fun to me. Take part in this. Let me know what you're going to be reading for June on the Range if you're watching this and you got this far and you're like, yeah, that sounds like fun, Justin. Let's do that. All right, there we go. That's my announcement video for today. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.